Hello. Hello, everyone. We have three people waiting here. How's everyone? Can you hear me? This is my first time. I just want to check that. Okay. I just want to give this a minute so, people can be here. This is my first live, so I might be a little bit slow. So I'm going to ask you to bear with me a little bit. How's everyone doing? Hi, hello. You're the second person here in this chat history. How are you doing? I said this so that only subscribers can comment. I just worry if I just wanted it to be a subscribers based event because this is really about you. Hello, everyone. Good. Oh, wow. Hi. I've actually never been to Japan. This is why I love YouTube because you get to reach so many people all around the world, and I think it's fantastic. Today is actually 冬至 in our lunar calendar, I guess. I don't know if you guys know about the lunar calendar, lunar year. It's supposed to be the longest night, and after today, it's going to be shorter and shorter. And it's a tradition that on this day we eat dumplings. So that's what I made, and some side dishes to go with that. I hope this doesn't like turn your stomach, but this is called fungus. It's very crunchy. It's a cold dish that is very kind of refreshing to have on the side with dumplings. So I'm just gonna have a bite. The live show is gonna be about 45 to an hour. Although this is again my first time, so I don't really know how long it's gonna be. So if you want to grab a drink, grab a hot chocolate, or if you haven't eaten yet, you're more than welcome to join me. I'm just gonna have a bite. Oh, someone is learning Mandarin. 我在吃什么? This is dumplings. 饺子. This is cucumber. It's crushed garlic cucumber, really. So I think that's 凉拌黄瓜. It's a cold dish. And that is, oh, Jesus. That is 木耳, 凉拌木耳. Yeah, it's kind of a staple. So, all right. I have 15 people here. Shall we get into it? Hello, Merry Christmas. Hi. I'm based in Canada. I know a lot of people, for some reason, think that I'm in the States or that I'm paid by CIA, but I'm really not. I am not an American. Yeah, I'm not based in the US. All right. So I want to answer some of the questions that you had for me when I made that post. I actually made a list of it, so I'm just going to go through them, but you're more than welcome to chime in and give me more questions if you want. If I see something that's interesting, I will respond. Yeah, I know. I wanted to talk about that, probably as a standalone video, why that's kind of the common comeback from the bots. Like, you're paid by CIA, and there are people in China who actually buy into that kind of narrative. I think it's worth talking about. But I just want to be prepared for that. But, again, I hope nobody takes that kind of lies seriously. That's kind of hilarious. You've read any Dr. Frank? No, I think, did you mention that before? I've actually never heard of him. I don't really know who that is. Maybe you could educate me on that. So I'm just gonna post the question here. So this is one of the questions that oh, what happened? This is the question that I had for sorry, don't know what happened. Oh, I'm back. This is a question that I had from one of you. The question is, what sources do you like to see? Do you like to use? Which English sources do you recommend for my work specifically? So I think a lot of my works is based on my own experience for now. And so there's that. And I'm really strategic about what I pick to talk about. I want to contribute value. I want to bring value to you. Um, as far as like, what kind of news sites that I follow, I think it's really hard these days because there's just so much information and the CCP's infiltration is really relentless. I take, a lot of news reports with a grain of salt. Um, but I do check, Wall Street Journals. I check the New York Times sometimes, although I feel like their coverage has gotten a little bit weird. Um, I I follow. I check Reuters. I think Free Asia is pretty legit. Radio Asia, probably you know what I'm talking about. I also follow a lot of Substacks, and this is one of the things I want to emphasize because I give naturally more credit to people who've actually lived it, people who were born there, who were subject to the indoctrination. I think of myself as I think of them as like the survivors of an abuser, and nobody knows more than the survivors because they can predict so well because they've been under the regime for so long. Um, that means I do check, a lot of Mandarin channels. Like one of my favorite reporters, Chai Jing, she has a YouTube channel, and she had been a journalist in China before she became a YouTuber. There's also a lot of Substacks, and don't worry, I will include all these, like the list of all the sources that I follow. These days, if I'm honest, I trust more specialized publications. So I don't give much credit to an organization or news outlet that is trying to cover everything, like the US trying to cover, just a generic like news site. I trust more if some site is like focused on China. For example, like The Wire China, they do a lot of reporting on Chinese economy and all that kind of stuff. So I will include a list in the description of this video. He's a historian who had access to some archives in China. He studied and taught in Hong Kong. Oh, wow, okay. There are many, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Decoder lectures and interviews on YouTube. Okay. Peru. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you guys enjoy it. How to interpret the Epoch Times? Oof, that's a tough one. What is NTD Daily? I don't really know that one. I think Epoch. I always double check when I read something there. I take them seriously, as in, like I said, they are survivors of that regime, so they really do know the abuser, and in this case, the Chinese Communist Party, very well. And as far as I know, I think they were at the founders are probably associated with Falun Gong, and I think they are, they were persecuted by the Chinese Communist Party, and there are a lot of them who are here, like in Canada, and they've been talking to our MPs. Excuse me, they've been talking to our MPs to try to I think there were some bills or like laws about that. I'm sorry, I'm not like really up to date about that. But yeah, I do check their reporting, but I always double check because I think I need to. I think some of their content, I'm not too sure about that. NDT Daily are a shortened video highlights of the news, and I think are part of the Epoch Times. Oh, okay. I did not know that. I mean, um, they got a bad rap, if I'm honest. Mm, but it doesn't mean I have a lot of journalist friends who are like, ew, Epoch Times, like, or 大纪元, that's the Chinese name of it. I don't do that. I think I still like check that, but I do, I'm very critical of them as well. I'm like, is this real? Oh, hi, Daniel. Oh, sorry, did I just out you? Thank you. I will keep going. Oh, that's one of the things I wanted to say. Um, I know I kind of stopped for a bit. Uh, I think in August, but I will definitely continue doing this. This is something that is very important for me, more than just building, a YouTube channel. Otherwise, I would have chosen to be like, I don't know, a vlogger about my life in Canada, about like Chinese food. But I picked this special topic or this issue really because it really matters to me, and I think it turns out it matters to a lot of people. So yeah, I will definitely keep going. What kind of historians do you like to read outside of China? Like you mean someone who's not Chinese? I know. I'm pretty prepared. You guys don't understand like how much I prepared myself before I started this channel. Um, I also want to say like I started to get letters from people who've been through something similar. Obviously, I will never mention their context or anything, but like I think I almost cried when I read those letters because I know exactly how they feel, um, and it just gives me so much more meaning um, than that. So yeah, there's that. All right, what else? I have another question. What aspects in China did they get right? Not the CCP, but everyday life. Um, I do get that asked about that a lot. I think when you live under an authoritarian regime, right, you have to learn how to cope. And again, I don't want to put them on a pedestal. Like, this is not to glorify their experience or their trauma. I don't think we should do that. I think we should acknowledge and look right at it. But everyday Chinese, they learn to make the most out of it. A lot of them don't have the choice to leave. They can't leave that place, but they try to make the best out of it. And I think that really alone taught me what resilience is. I try to apply that in my daily life as well. That said, I do think they deserve a lot better. They should not be forced to kind of choose to live like that. So I do admire the resilience of my people. They've suffered a lot. Yeah. Thank you. That's right. People, they have to live their life, right? So, um, yeah. Mm, I also got a lot of questions about what do I think about China's future. questions like, oh, like, what do you think China would, um, where are we gonna go? Like, as a nation, will we ever become a democracy? I hope we will. Um, I don't think I will be able to see that in my lifetime. I would love to be proven wrong. I do think the Chinese Communist Party, we might be able to see um, the end of the party, but for us to transform um, to a full-on democracy, I think that takes a lot of luck, a lot of effort. I think we need help from the international community. If we allow that, that would be great. But I think I'm worried that if, what if the end of CCP means another CCP? Um, in our little dissident community, we do look at CCP as a dynasty, not necessarily even a regime. Like in I guess our narrative, it is just we call it Tian Chao, so God dynasty. It's just a term to describe any dynasty. The lesson that we as a people collectively learned seems to be that we want a better dynasty rather than we want a democracy. And I hope that we would be able to learn a different lesson this time, when we see the end of the Chinese Communist Party. Um, that requires a lot of self-reflection. That requires a lot of help from the international community. That requires us winning this misinformation war that was waged on us by the Chinese Communist Party. So, yeah, I guess that kind of summarizes what I think about the future of um, my home country. Suppose I was interested in adopting. Um, I'm not really well versed in the subject, but I do want to. There was a question about religion in China. Sorry. Um, when I was growing up in China, I had a friend and her whole family um, oh, was Christian, and they had to do their gathering, their like Sunday pray, like I don't know what to call that, but like they have to do their Sunday gathering secretly, and it's not like somewhat knocked on the door and asked for, oh, like you can't do all of this. And they did that voluntarily because I think deep down every religious person in China knows that you should not be doing that. If you want to join the Chinese Communist Party, actually you have to be sure and declare that you're an atheist. um, I think there is a lack of religion, especially independent religion in China. Um, so it wouldn't be good if you're religious out and open um, in China, especially if you're part of an organization. That is going to be very unfortunate for you. Um, but of course, they won't say that. They won't tell you that, oh, we're like, we don't want Christianity. We don't want, I don't know, any religions, Muslim or, Catholic, like we don't want anything. They wouldn't say that, but they would quietly tame all the religious organizations. They make sure that they're under the control of the Chinese Communist Party, and they do so quietly and effectively so that they never form to an organization, because they're worried about a higher authority, um, and a higher external authority all the time. They're so paranoid, right? So that is not something that you can do freely in China. Oh, I want to add, it's not necessarily like, it's not that the Chinese people are against you if you're religious. Not really. most people don't really care. It's just the government. I've got another question that is pretty spicy. If you're new here, if you just joined the chat, today's kind of a Q&A. I'm going to be answering the questions that I got from my earlier post, but I will answer questions along the way. Street talking points. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's really sad. They've somehow managed they've managed to infiltrate all the communities, religious communities in China. And that was like, what, 20 years ago? When my friend and their whole family, they were religious. So I got another question about China and anti-blackness. How is it so prevalent in China, yet African civilizations never colonize? Okay. I like how this person didn't just use racism, but specifically anti-blackness. I'm assuming that means like racism against Black people. And I want to start by saying this is real. There's definitely racism against Black people, from top down, from the central government. Our annual Lunar New Year gala, there's a lot of racism displayed. And I think, and this is my guess, I guess, our society is based on hierarchy. And the colonizers, well, the Chinese Communist Party, hate them, and they teach the Chinese people. So they want us to have to harbor this hostility against the West, Japan, the US, CIA. They also respect strong people. So I think, in a way, they look at colonizers that, in a way that, one day I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to be the colonizer. The lesson learned from that colonization is not to build a better world. It's rather not what can they do so that they won't lose. And for Black people, they are, in a way, the victim of this whole in the history. And I think they really look down upon that group in a way. I don't know if that makes sense to you. I probably should have. Well, yeah. So like, it's a different type of disgust or contempt. It's very much race-based, and it's honestly disgusting. But unfortunately, I think it does happen. I hate to say this, but I've had friends back in China who are pretty racist against Black people, and they don't like white people either. I think there's just a lot of hate in that culture. And again, I do think they can be changed once they're exposed to a different culture. I think that can be changed. It's just the whole, atmosphere and the indoctrination, and the normalization of racism in China against Black people. All right. Any books you recommend about China? I love that. I actually have a little collection here. I would like to get to display more, but this is, I mean, this is I based one of my videos on this book. Like I said in the beginning, I give more credit to people who've actually lived it. There's a different touch to their narrative. There's a different touch to their analysis, and it's called The Rise and Fall of the East. it really talks about why Chinese authoritarianism is so sticky. I strongly recommend this one. Um, and then there's a fiction. It's not really like a real, like it's not based on a real story, or at least that's not what I know. But like, it's written by a Canadian writer. It's a fiction, and the story is based on Cultural Revolution survivors. They immigrated to Canada, and what else? Um, if you're into like spies, I don't know if you guys are into like foreign interference and that kind of stuff. Um, this is, I think, one of the top China analysts that I know, and he's Australian. He's very young, but he's very talented. Um, he had this book called Spice and Lies, very well documented for interference. Yeah, so that's pretty much. I think that's the top three books that I really like about China. I actually watched two long podcasts with Professor recently, one in English and one in Mandarin. Oh, nice. I like that. Can you tell me the name of that podcast? I really like Yasheng Huang Yasheng. Am I saying that right? Huang Yasheng. Just anyways, I really like him. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a very fantastic scholar, a really good writer too. I think that really matters. Um, I have some other. Okay, I'm just gonna. I've also gotten some questions about Hassan Piker and Peter Zahan. Zayan? Zayan? I'll admit I don't really follow Peter content. I know of him. I can't really speak to him about him confidently without having a comprehensive look at his takes and just his content. Um, and as far as you know, Hassan Piker, I think I've said a lot in the video. I do think he got picked on by the Chinese Communist Party because of his ideology and his vulnerability. There's actually a leaked interview between a Chinese influencer. I don't know if you guys watch Chinese content. So he actually leaked a video, an interview, or like a conversation between him and someone who works for the Chinese Communist Party who was trying to actively recruit and turn him into this CCP praiser instead of a CCP uh, critic. I probably will do a video on that. I think it's very interesting and very eye-opening even for me. The tactics that they use, they are really truly masters in what they do. 自韩 okay. Okay, 自汉 okay. You think he's too conclusive? Okay. I feel like I should learn from that because I'm always so careful when I draw a conclusion or a prediction because I think mm, I think it's such a complicated topic, like when it comes to the future of China or like anything China related, really. Oh my god, I have to take a bite of this dumplings. I'm sorry. Oh, so good. Maybe I should become a food blogger if this doesn't pan out. Like, just kidding. This is so good. That's one of the things I really love about my community. I don't know about other subscribers, but I feel like I have a small but very well read community. So smart, genuinely curious. Um, Always have really interesting questions. So impressed. Um, I never thought that I got to have a community like this. So I love that. Oh shit. This is, sorry. This is one of my favorite um, brand. Oh my god. It's Taiwanese milk tea. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm pretty sure it's Taiwanese. I love this. So this is a taro milk tea. With like bubble like pearls, tapioca. I love it. And this is just some fried dumplings, and this is my favorite cold dish. It's cucumber with vinegar and crushed garlic. It's very easy to make, and it's just so refreshing. It's a great snack for like noodles or um, like dumplings, like starchy flavor. Like this is very good. It's very refreshing. Kind of balances out. Oh, cooking channels. Um, I think I mostly follow apps, and if I have like like if I want a recipe or anything, I would just like search it on YouTube. There's a guy, I forgot his name. He does a series of like cooking Asian food in like 30 minutes, like easy recipe to make. Because I'm a bit lazy and I don't want to spend too much time cooking. I follow that series. I'll see if I can search for that for you later. Why do I not do um I plan to, I might, but um hmm, I think there are a lot of people on YouTube doing Chinese like videos. Um, I don't think I'm contributing anything there, anything more. But what I think is missing here from what I see, because I usually watch like English videos on YouTube, and I feel like all I see is the pro China type of content. I rarely see someone with my background um, actually talk about this kind of stuff. And every time when we are critical of our own party, of our own government, it really is not a government, it's not elected, it doesn't have more than one party. A lot of people, they shame the dissidents, they call them names, and they say that they hate themselves. Which is really ironic. You see all these people that are so critical of their own government, of presidents, prime ministers, but they never get that. And I think part of me feels like it's almost my responsibility to criticize an authoritarian regime. And I don't think that should be controversial. I don't think that should mean that I hate myself, or hate something about me or my uh, country. Um, yeah, I think that really speaks to me. Um, oh yeah, I actually follow his content. I do watch his videos. One of the predictions he made, I thought it was very interesting, is whether China is retreating to the west and if they're abandoning Shanghai and the other coastal cities. I have yet to see more evidence to support that, but I think it's interesting and it's definitely possible. No sesame oil in the cucumbers. I put sesame oil in the cucumbers. I do. I put sesame oil in a lot of things. I really do like it. Although I heard it's not really good for you. I think it's not healthy. I don't know. I'm definitely concerned about that. Again, I am. But you guys just wouldn't believe how gullible and just dangerous it is for people in the West. I mean, foreign interference is a huge issue in Canadian politics as well. And I'm sure in the States. But here in Canada, it is just out of control. It is terrifying, honestly, to live as a Chinese Canadian here in this country. You don't know who you can trust. They've infiltrated this country so much that for us who are critical of the regime, we can't even feel safe to connect within our own community, to connect with people within our own community. And nobody is talking, well, not nobody, but very few people are talking about it. All right. One last question, guys. What does your family view China? How does your family view China versus you? I'm going to keep family out of this for safety reasons, but I can talk generically about the general dynamic in families in China. I feel like a few years back, people have a hard time to relate to how we feel, just how divided can family members be on certain issues. One of the hallmarks is, COVID. During COVID times, I think there's a lot of family kind of broken into pieces in a way because of this misinformation war. But right now, I think everything is so polarized, right? Imagine if you have a family member, if you have family members that are like, one is far right, one is far left, and they're suddenly like talking about politics at a dinner table. I think that is true to a lot of like younger Chinese people who have awakened, who are sort of like doubting, like challenging the authority or the indoctrination a little bit. I think it creates a lot of tension among families. And it's hard. It is hard. Because we've, 200 years we've been under this authoritarian regime. So there's some deep rooted cultural factors there as well. I should do this more. I like this. Thank you guys for being here. Like I said earlier, I will definitely keep doing this. This is so much more than just a YouTube channel for me. And I'm hoping to bring more value and more, hopefully in the future, more guests to interview. And again, if you have any comments, if you have any feedback, feel free to write to me. I don't know if you guys know that, but I have a Substack, and you have my, I also have my email address there, so you can write to me. I really hope I don't get bought out by the Chinese Communist Party. I don't think I ever will, but I heard that happened to a lot of people, that people used to trust, and all of a sudden they're just pro-China, and it was like, that is terrible. Not like pro-China, like pro-authoritarian. I should make that um, distinction. Like I should say like they're very much pro the authoritarian regime. I try to respond. I'm slow. I'm sorry if I'm slow, but I really do try to look through them because you guys matter to me. God, this is so good. Oh my God. It was so good. Oh my God, I can't stand that guy. That guy is, I don't even know, man. Thank you for doing this. Well, thank you. Thank you for watching this. Victor Gao is, God, who wants to explain who Victor Gao is? Oh, he's just, I mean, he works for the Chinese Communist. He's a party member. He's a loyal party member. He's been the Chinese Communist Party's favorite propagandist. Like, he's been on a lot of English TV channels. Like, he's done a lot of interviews in English. And he's been like trying to brand China as this Chinese democratic country, like in a like he's been trying to like basically whitewashing the regime. So good. Oh my God. I will be taking. Sorry. I will be taking a week off in the coming week. I don't know if I'd push out any content, new content this week. I probably just like try to have a highlight of what we just did here, and um, but in the new year I'll come back. Don't worry, I won't be going anywhere. I just needed a little break. The dishes look delicious. Yeah, I really like. This is my comfort food. I really like this. Like two cold dishes and some starchy food, like noodles or fried dumplings. Thank you. Thank you for. Thank you, Zalin. Are there any historians or public figures that you have listened to online or read that impacted your understanding of China and the world? To Sarah Penn is one example. Mm, I think, okay, one of the reasons that I wanted to study journalism, oh, my left leg is asleep. One of the reasons that I want to study journalism and changed my understanding of China is because of this journalist. Her name is Chai Jing. Like I said in the beginning, she has a YouTube channel. Unfortunately, all of her content is in Chinese, but she does really good work that kind of unveils a side of China that will otherwise be hidden from its own people. My own personal awakening started right there, I think. That and that one teacher that I had when I was a student in China. So I was born and raised there. I got the whole full package uh, for their education, for everything. Um, I was there for a long time, and I think I've always been a little bit suspicious of what I was told. I was never a very trusting kid, but her reporting on how the government handles a lot of things and what really is like, he's an investigative she's an investigative journalist. So I think that really helped me and changed my opinion about this regime. Um, and she left China a few years ago. She's done a lot of really good reporting, like stories that she broke that you just wouldn't believe, and her stories were picked up by foreign media outlets as well. Um, Sarah Payne is definitely, yeah, definitely. She's just so articulate. She knows so much. Um, yeah, I hope that answers your questions. Um, do I think it's a good idea for Westerners to travel to China? If so, are there any places that you'd recommend they avoid? I think that depends on your citizenship. Um, I think if you're an American and you're just an ordinary American, it's probably fine for you. There are certain things I would never do in China if I were traveling there. I would never do marijuana. I would never bring, questionable items. Um, I would never talk about democracy, freedom there. I would be careful in public places because there are like plainclothes policemen in certain places, right? So I'd be very careful with what I do there. Um, so those are the things that I would avoid. Do not talk bad about China in China. Do not complain. Um, and just keep your head down, eat your food, and go sightseeing, take pictures. Um, yeah, you never know. It's like I think it's so random. Someone could go there and have a blast, but then if you're particularly unlucky or you don't, um, if you're from Japan, let's say the anti-Japan sentiment is out of control. I would not travel there. But if you go to Shanghai, I think it's a little bit better because they're more tolerant towards Westerners or white people or anyone that's not that doesn't look Chinese. I think they're a little bit more tolerant than that than your average Chinese cities. So yeah, if you really like, I would like to hear. I'll definitely check them out. All the people that you guys mentioned, I'll have a look at them. Are they still doing hair samples of foreigners in bars? I don't know. From where I grew up, I didn't grow up seeing a lot of foreigners. Um, I remember when I first came to Canada, I was like, "Ooh, like there's a lot of people from all over the world. Like, they look very different." So yeah, the deep countryside of Xinjiang is a dangerous place to travel to. I wouldn't recommend it. I think it's a little bit risky. But maybe if you follow a travel group, like a travel agency, maybe you'll be fine. But I wouldn't go there alone, just like as a backpacker or something like that. Like I definitely go there with a group. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I think that's a wrap, guys. Thank you for joining me and bearing with me. This is my first live, so it's not, um, but maybe we'll do another one when I hit 50K, and I will answer more of your questions. Okay, guys, I'm gonna finish my food. I really enjoyed this again. I know this is my first live show, but you guys have been great, and I will continue posting more content. Really enjoyed tonight. All right. Thank you, everyone. I truly mean this. I love our community, and I'd love to see this channel grow. And some of you were here when I had only 100 subscribers. You will inevitably see me make mistakes, see me grow, and I'm just excited for all of it. All right. Have a good night. Thank you, guys.